As the great,
I have the actual data.
50 million.
50 million. All right. Well, Seth will give me a heads up when he's ready to join. I think he had somebody in his office as I hit it up. As Roger Goodell and Adam Silver would say, we have a trade. Well, no, that's not really true. Not yet. We have a proposed trade for the Seth and Sean Sports Radio Show fantasy football team. And I wanted to get Seth's opinion on it before we go down that road, but we'll wait for him to come on. We will be giving you your NBA preview predictions, finally. We'll give you your NHL predictions, finally. We'll talk World Series. We will talk Jets and Giants, and of course, Seth will make his weekly Daniel Jones prediction. And for those that have been listening, his weekly Daniel Jones prediction has been, this is the week. This is the week that Daniel Jones is done. This is the week that Drew Lock becomes a fantasy football starting quarterback. I'm not sure that happens at all. Okay, so we have a trade. Well, we have a proposed trade. I'm not sure you saw that. So we should probably talk proposed trade first.
I don't think we really need to talk about it. I mean,
it's a negative, right?
Yes. Why would I want? Why am I trading 3 years of Nick Chubb at $8 for a quarterback who could be out in 2 weeks? As much as I love our Joe Flacco,
we got Chubb at $8.
What?
We got Chubb at $8.
I think so.
$9. Yeah, we're not trading Nick Chubb. That I thought we got him a lot higher than that. So I'm really happy. That's true. Let me ask you this: would you trade him for Justin Herbert right
now? No, I don't think so. Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I am screaming at the top of my lungs, so not sure it's me. Hoping.
Hold on.
Well, your label does say old man, so maybe it's just the wax in your ears from the constant buildup.
Yeah.
You are old. We are both old. We are both old. But that being said, okay. So we're going to decline the trade right now. Let's throw that down.
We're declining the trade.
I did not have a chance to talk to you about the trade previously, so I'm going to decline the trade. Thank you so much for playing. It was nice that we got a trade offer because we never get those, and we make them all.
And it wasn't a horrifying offer. I've gotten a lot dumber.
If Joe, so the trade offer was Joe Flacco, who we hold near and dear to our hearts, and in fact, Seth has a bobblehead of Joe Flacco, and
I don't know where. Ironically, I don't know where it is.
Did Jake steal it and bring it home?
No, it was in the office. Oh, here it is.
Okay, so we have Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco, for those that do pay attention to us every week, is near and dear to our heart because I believe 4 out of the last 5 championships that we have won, we have had Joe Flacco on our team. And to be clear, if Joe Flacco is on the waiver wire at the beginning of the playoffs, I will pick him up for $1, even if he's not playing, just to have Joe Flacco on our team. I think it is a good luck charm to have Joe Flacco. Not Shane Falco, Joe Flacco. Anyway,
just to make sure there's a difference between
abundantly clear. Look, Joe Flacco and Keanu Reeves could be mistaken for each other. So it's possible that these two, anyway. So we declined the trade. We're 5-2-1 in the 4 position, in the playoff position. I believe we're pretty steady. Bryce Young is once again starting for Carolina against New Orleans. And the first time that we need Bryce Young is actually next week, not this week. So with a good showing, he might start again. So we just have to hold out hope that he will start again. I was a little astonished by Anthony Richardson this Sunday.
That he was tired?
No, look, he should be tired. They should all be tired. I was astonished by the fact that he said why he came out. There were some posts where it says, wide receivers tap out all the time and running backs tap out all the time. Seth, what are your thoughts on him tapping out for a play, saying he was tired?
He's 22 years old. He was out most of last year. You're not really allowed as the leader of the team, and as a quarterback, you default to being the leader of the team. You are really not allowed to say you're allowed to say you're tired. You're not really allowed to take a play off. You're not playing every down. You're not getting hit every play. I mean,
to be fair, he was running all over the place, like on the previous 3 or 4 plays, and did get hit. So I see it. I just didn't believe I heard it. Let's put it that way. Like, if you just want to say, oh, my ankle was hurting, nobody would care, right? He'd come out for a play for his ankle. I give him credit for being honest, but sometimes honesty and stupidity go hand in hand. I'm not really sure that this was not one of those cases. Speaking of quarterbacks, and I know we're doing this early in the broadcast, but we missed it last week. And I did preview it while you were busy yelling about $5 million.
$1 million.
$5 million. Your preview was that this week would be the start of Drew Lock. You have said that, your prediction, you have said that ongoing for 3 weeks. Daniel Jones did not look good. He did not look bad. He didn't look terrible. Do we see Drew Lock, or do we wait one more week after the bye, or at all, for that matter?
It looks like it's going to be. It doesn't look like it's going to be this week. I don't think I.
Oh, either I broke up or he broke up. Somebody broke up.
We have the the Commanders, the Panthers, and then we have the bye. If they're 2-8, pretty much, I'm assuming we start at the bye.
Now, to be fair, you have to give Joe Schoen some credit for this year's draft, right?
You do.
So I believe every player on the Giants in the 2024 draft, Neighbors, Newbin, Phillips, Theo Johnson, Tracy, Masawa, I believe they have all played this year. They have meaningful snaps.
Not only that, other than Masao, they've all been, Newbin is a long shot for defensive rookie of the year. Neighbors has been fantastic. Phillips has been solid. Theo Johnson is their starting tight end going forward. And Tyrone Tracy may very well be their starting running back going forward. Or at worst, he's a good third down back because he's a former wide receiver. They've killed this draft. Musau hasn't done very much. The problem is they're just not that good. I mean, there's parts that you like. The offensive line for them has been much better. Although it was terrible last week, has been much better than it was last year. Neighbors getting hurt for a couple of weeks hurt like hell. They have, Lawrence is great. Andrew Thomas out for the year again. They're just, we need a quarterback restart. You need, my preference is Cam Ward, but who the heck knows where that, what's going to happen in the next 6 weeks for college as well as for I don't know if I really see the Giants winning more than 3 games the rest of the year. So, they'll be favored. They'll be underdog this week. They'll be favored against the Panthers, I would think. Underdog against the Bucks. Underdog at the Cowboys. Probably favored at home against the Saints. Underdog against the Ravens. Underdog against the Falcons. Probably underdog against the Colts at home. Well, that's a little bit different because you may be playing in the snow because that's Christmas, and then at the Eagles. So you could be looking at 4-13, 5-12, and that puts you as a give or take the 5th or 6th team in So there'll be some quarterbacks there. There's no one I'm that excited about.
With the NFL trading deadline taking on more of a significance in the last couple of years, especially this year, certainly wide receivers more than anything else. If the Giants were offered Bryce Young for a 4th-round pick, would you take it? Knowing that next year he's your guy, right? He's got to be your guy if you're spending a 4th-round pick on him.
No, I think I look at it as they're spending a 4th-round pick. It gives you an option. I think you probably, I don't know. It seems like he had a lot of trouble handling Charlotte. How the hell is he going to handle New York? Handle the weather of New York? He doesn't. I agree. He has to go somewhere as a restart because he just has to. But I'm not sure he's the guy I want in New York.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Let me ask you a question.
It was something that was proposed. Hold on. It was something that was proposed on ESPN, and that's why.
How about going to you guys?
So we've already given up our third. So we've already given up our 3rd-round pick for not Reddick, for Devontae Adams. We've already given up that 3rd. So now you're giving up a 4th. So you're giving up your 3rd and your 4th for next year for the hopes of Bryce Young. I'm
assuming Rodgers has 1 year left.
Well, my question is, does he even have 1 year left? If you go 4-13 this year, does he come back? Does he want to come back? I don't.
How much is he getting paid?
Please don't give me the Terrell Owens. He's got $18 million to come back saga. That doesn't.
He's getting paid $40 million a year. Of course, he's going to come back.
So to answer your question, I'm going to look it up right now. Next year's salary, he has $23 million of salary.
Would you give up $23 million in salary? Unless Trump wins the election.
Wait. Do I already have 300
in a month that he needs a VP candidate?
I think it's kind of interesting. Would I give up $23 million of salary when my savings account says X, and he gives up $23 million of salary when his career earnings are $380 million?
Still $23 million.
There is a big difference between I do that.
It's still $23 million. I don't think he leaves.
So for the Jets, how much? So the cap hit, if you cut him, is $49 million. So you're not cutting him on your own.
No,
that's the dead cap. If you keep him, the cap hit is $23 million. So you're keeping him. I mean, if you have the option to keep him. I don't know. You're going to have Mark Rubin on the line next week, as you head with your lovely family overseas to Spain. And Mark texted me the other day and said, who is in a better place, the Jets with Aaron Rodgers or the Patriots with Drake May? And reluctantly, I said the Patriots with Drake May. And I'm not sure Drake May is the answer to everything in New England, but at least you have a clean slate with Drake May, which you do not have with the Jets right now and Aaron Rodgers. There have been multiple opinions that Aaron Rodgers would want to trade if the Jets can't pull this out. Even in 2 weeks, want to trade. I can't for the life of me think of another team that would want Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
who does he think he's going to? Because he would only go to a team. The only team that no team is going to want him.
Well, that's what I said. I can't think of another team that would want him and be in a situation where he would want to go. The only way that I can see that happening is if this week Sam Darnold tore his ACL or something along those lines. Because or Jared Goff got hurt, right? Like places where it's an immediate upgrade, it's an immediate place to play, it's a stable environment like Dan Campbell. But just think about how many places he would not fit in. The majority of them.
I mean, not only where he would fit in, but you're not going to trade him to a rebuilding team. He's not going
right. That's what I said. Where he would fit in. Where he would fit in.
I'm talking personality wise, fit in, or playing wise, fit in.
I was talking about a combination of both. You need to have a situation in which he is winning, right? Now the question is he the cause of the Jets losing? Or does he contribute to? I will tell you, the Jets were playing fantastic football on Sunday night against the Steelers. Fantastic football for the whole first half until the last 2 minutes of the half, where he tried to throw a ball between three defenders. Got picked off. They scored. All momentum pulled out of Investiture Stadium. Wow, I said that really clean too. That was really well done. And that was it. And the Jets were downhill from there. They could have run the ball out. They could have run the clock out in the first half and gone up 15-6. Instead, they gave the ball back and were only up 15-13 going into the half.
He's not the guy? Look, he's not the guy he was 7-10 years ago. And
no.
5-3, probably not the guy he was 3 years ago.
No,
and the problem is you've really given him your franchise.
Oh, we've ruined our franchise.
Right. Well, I compared it, and you didn't like the comparison to when Durant and Irving came in.
No, I don't think it's that.
Because I think, first of all, Durant's still in his prime. Irving is still close to his prime. But they made Durant wouldn't go without Irving.
Sure.
They both wanted Harden.
Sure.
You know my feelings on the Harden trade then. You know my feelings on them bringing in Irving then.
He's more like LeBron.
LeBron is still close enough to his prime. And LeBron's not bringing in his buddies.
Really?
LeBron doesn't have an Alan Lazard who signed for a 4-year, $40 million deal. Or Randall Cobb.
Okay. I can see that. Bronny doesn't count, I guess. You don't bring your son in, and that's okay.
Look, they did that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, they did the marketing that goes. I don't know if they did it because LeBron wanted it or because the marketing material with that is so great or the promotional is so good that you can't resist it.
It is. All right. Well, while we're talking about LeBron and Bronny, this is a great segue to actually making our predictions for the NBA, which we didn't get to do last week because we got cut off. So I believe we went through the Eastern Conference. I believe we were starting through the Western Conference, and we got to most of the Western Conference, at least the playoff teams, or we were starting to go down those. Now, are you concerned at all about any of the teams right now playing in the West, particularly the Denver Nuggets, who are 2-2?
It very well could have lost to the Nets at home. I mean, I think they beat them in overtime, and it took 309 from Jokic to get there. They got a problem. They have no bench. Westbrook seems to be close to shot. If he's not, he's near the end. And, they lost Gary Harris a couple of years ago. They lost KCP. And the hope was Porter, Gordon is a nice role player. The hope was Porter was going to become, for the contract he signed, was going to become this, I don't want to say even a superstar, but legitimately a star player. It hasn't happened. Murray seems to be tired and is taking a bit of a step back. it doesn't feel like a team that that won the title 2 years ago and was probably the favorite last year going into the playoffs.
Russell Westbrook, 4 games, 20 minutes a game, has shot 27% from the field, 25% from 3. 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 points.
27% from the floor, you said?
27 in 4 games. Now, it's a small sample size, right? It is. But how much of a sample size are you giving Russell Westbrook? How much leeway are you giving Russell Westbrook to make this happen? Look, the reason he's there is because Nikola Jokic wanted him there. Okay. And in theory, Russ leading the break with Nikola Jokic as a trailer sounds amazing. But if you can't hit an outside shot, even Jokic said it the other day, he's like, we are not a good outside shooting team. Well, Mr. Jokic, congratulations. You just figured out what everybody else on the planet knew going into this year. You have Michael Porter, who you hope is going to be a decent enough stretch 4 or stretch 3, who is shooting right now 29.6% from three-point land and 40% overall. The only person that's doing anything on this team is yourself. Jamal Murray is averaging 18 on 37% shooting. Aaron Gordon, who just signed a new 4-year deal, is shooting 48%. Well, that's nice. 40% from 3. Maybe this is the guy they wish Porter was. But overall, this is a problem. Now, is this a problem for the regular season? No, I think they'll make the playoffs because I think when you have the best player in the planet, and he is still the best player in the planet until some guy in San Antonio takes that over, which he will, either this year or next year, you have a shot at the playoffs. And we're only talking 4 games in. But this team has some serious makeup problems. And one bad injury to Jamal Murray, one bad injury to Aaron Gordon. And good luck with that. That sounds like an awesome way to be. Oklahoma City, perfect, 3-0. No shock. Cleveland, 4-0. I don't know if I'm shocked by that. I mean,
no, why would you be shocked?
Well, they beat the Knicks the other night.
Is that shocking?
Well, their difference is 16.7 points per game. That's a little shocking. Now, they did play, I believe, the very strong teams known as the Wizards and the Nets. But they played the Raptors, the Pistons, the Wizards, and the Knicks. So very strong teams. Sarcasm, highly intended.
Yep.
But they beat the Knicks. They're 4-0. The Celtics are 4-0. Mark Rubin will be happy to talk to you all about that next week after he comes on the show. That he has said he will happily take a Kamala Harris win, provided that it gets the Celtics a perfect season. And I said, I will take B if I can get A. I am perfectly fine with the Celtics winning another championship if I can get A. I'm good with that. I'm actually good if the Patriots won another championship, if I can get that. Or the Yankees come back from 3 down, which
I'm not sure you'd really be okay with that.
I'd be okay with it. If I could get it, yeah, I would actually be okay with it.
Riding on Tuesday.
A lot riding what?
On Tuesday.
Aren't they playing today?
Oh, no, I was talking about the election, dude.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in our last 5 minutes. But anyway, okay. Surprise teams. What team do you look at in the West and say, good or bad? I'm going aside from Denver. I'm going to be surprised, or I'm looking forward to it, or this is what I want to see. What team are you looking at here?
I think they're all. I mean, I think a team I think the Kings will be better. I like them. I like watching them play. I think they're a fun team if they don't trade De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, there's no way they're trading De'Aaron Fox.
No, he may want the supermax, and I think that's where you kind of run into a problem because I think his
can't get
contract
the
is up soon.
supermax until they look. In-season trades are going to be ridiculously hard with these.
Yes, they are.
So an in-season trade with DeAndre Fox earning $40 million, Seth, it's not going to happen. You're not going to see those big trades in season anymore. You may see them after the season, but you're not going to see them in season. I would be shocked.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I told you, I like the Pelicans more than you do, even without their centers or whatever they play at center, Zion until he gets hurt. Nothing. It's 4 games in. I mean, I never understand. I get it because we have a 24-hour news cycle and sports cycle, so people have something they need to talk about. We're 5% of the NBA season is done.
No, but
I don't really have much of an opinion on anything.
I'm not saying base it on what's happened. I'm asking you to make a prediction. By the way, I did throw this into the trade machine. Not that it would ever happen because the Kings have no need for him. But Brandon Ingram and DeAndre Fox match up. Not that would ever happen because Ingram is not necessary.
Ingram would be the last thing they need.
Agreed. But I was just throwing an available player in. So DeAndre Fox earns $34 million this year. $34 million. So even, and I know this trade never happens, okay? But I'm going to just I can't do it. Even if, I could do this one. Let's go Mikal Bridges for DeAndre Fox. Again, never, ever going to happen. That will not work.
No.
I don't know another team that can add I do know one team. There is one team that can add this, and that would be the Nets. But the Nets don't want it.
No.
I mean, you could do a DeAndre Fox or Ben Simmons and a whole lot of picks. If you're a Nets fan, do you do that trade?
De'Aaron Fox for Ben Simmons?
And 3 first-round picks, including one this year.
No.
Right. You're not doing it. So DeAndre Fox is not going anywhere, certainly not this year. First of all, he's not eligible for the Supermax until he gets to an All-NBA team at the end of this year. So you won't even know if he's eligible for that Supermax till the end of the year. And if that's the case, then yes, Zach LaVine for DeAndre Fox, straight up, who says no?
Who straight up? DeAndre Fox or who?
Zach LaVine, who says no?
The Kings.
DeAndre Fox isn't going anywhere. The Kings cannot afford to lose him. And the Kings are also in a place where this is like John Hollinger calling it salary cap jail. If you trade DeAndre Fox, you're still over the cap. If you trade DeAndre Fox, you were still in the first apron. If you trade DeAndre Fox, there was no way to replace him. You don't trade DeAndre Fox. It's that simple.
I had read a couple things about it, but yes.
These new, believe it or not, these new aprons are going to cause stability in the NBA. There will be less trades, which I'm not exactly sure is what was designed for, but it certainly will happen because less teams will be able to make trades. So the cap will continue going up, which will open up news, but you will not be able to make. The last summer was probably that Karl Anthony Towns trade was the way that trades have to go. You have to have a third team that is under the cap. There's only one team after this, 2 teams this year after the season that will be under the cap. One is Charlotte, one's the Nets. Neither one of them wants to improve. They're both playing capture the flag. Okay, so if you are making your predictions, give me your top 4 in the East and your top 4 in the West, please.
Top 4 in the East is the Celtics, the Knicks, the Cavs, and I'll say the Sixers simply because I assume Embiid will be healthy by that point.
Okay. And your top 4 in the West, sir.
The Oklahoma City, Minnesota, Memphis, and either Dallas or Phoenix.
Okay.
I'll go with Dallas.
Okay. I'm going to take Oklahoma City, Phoenix, Dallas, and the Timberwolves, with Memphis coming up in 5th. I think Phoenix is going to be. I think Phoenix with the point guard situation that they now have, where they don't turn over the ball, where they have somebody that steadies the ship, where Devin Booker finally is not playing point guard and can score 28 to 30 points a game. I think they wrap up the 2 seed, if not the 1 seed. Like, they have the possibility of beating Oklahoma City depending on what happens there. In the East, I'm going to go with the same 4 you have. I'm not going to pick Philly, though. I don't think Embiid plays 65 games. I don't think Paul George plays 65 games. I think Tyrese Maxey is potentially going to make an all-NBA team, because if you are the only person playing all 80 games and your 2 other best players are not, and you're still making a 4 or 5 seed, you should be in that window. So I will put the Celtics first, the Cavaliers second, the Knicks third, and the Pacers fourth. Begrudgingly, the Pacers fourth.
No thought of the Bucks? Or you think they're done?
The Bucks are the Denver Nuggets of the East.
Yes, they are.
They are. There's a lot wrong with this team. I mean, Giannis is 29. I get that. But let's look at your main players on this team. Giannis is 29. Pat Connaughton is 31. Damian Lillard's 34. Brook Lopez is 36. Middleton's 33 with 2 ankles that I don't think even can be taped together. Bobby Portis is 29. Gary Trent is 25. So you have one guy under the age of 29. And you have defensively, this team is outright awful.
Yes, they are.
You have maybe a top 5 2 top 5 defenders, definitely 2 top 10 defenders in the NBA on this team, in Giannis and Brook Lopez. Potentially top 10 defenders.
Yes.
They are still going to be one of the worst defensive teams in basketball, because they don't have a guard that can guard. The whole point to being a guard is that you could guard. That's why it's called a guard. They're not guarding anybody. I thoroughly believe that Damian Lillard is a worse defender than James Harden. That is ridiculously hard to get to, considering I have called James Harden a human turnstile numerous times. So no, I think that the Bucks are 8th, 9th. They'll get into the play-in. But this is a team that is the Lakers without LeBron. Well, no, that's not fair, because AD is nowhere to be fair. Yeah, it's the Lakers without LeBron. AD is Giannis, and everybody else is old and can't play. Yeah, I mean, they're the Lakers without LeBron. The 76ers are, and they have nothing to trade. Their coffers are empty. They are the Knicks, except they're 5 years older at every single position. Or maybe even 10 in the case of Brook Lopez. The Knicks, you know my feelings on the Karl Anthony Towns trade. You know my feelings on the Mikal Bridges trade, in that they gave up too much in both. And it killed their depth. I am looking forward to seeing the team that I want to see, but I don't believe that team is ever going to exist. I really think that by making these trades, their window didn't open anymore. I think it closed. And I hope I'm wrong, but I do believe that.
Is this because you're just a negative Nelly in general?
So if you asked me 3 weeks ago, remember 3 weeks ago, I was on a high, right? The Jets, the Mets are going to make the World Series. The Knicks are starting. The Islanders are starting. Syracuse is 5-1. I'm good to go. Fast forward 3 weeks. I am Mr. Negative Nelly again. I am back to being Debbie Downer. Welcome to my world since 1986. Syracuse basketball is starting. Donnie Freeman likely will tear his ACL within the first 4 weeks. And Keon Anthony, Carmelo's son, will likely commit to USC. That is exactly what's going to happen. By the way, now that who are you picking for the finals? I assume the Celtics. And who in the West?
I'm going to say the Celtics, Oklahoma City.
Okay. And I'm going to say
not exactly going out on a limb there.
I'm going to say Celtics Phoenix. Number one, to be contrarian with you. And number two, I think Durant's going to have his best NBA season this year. I think he might have his best NBA season all around this year. Wow. I do. And that's saying a lot.
Yes, it is.
And I'm saying all around, right? He is the leader of a team that where he wants to be with the people that he wants to be at. He's happy. Okay? He doesn't have to be the facilitator. He doesn't have to be the on-ball defender. He just has to play. And 1 through 5, now 1 through 5 is a lot because who knows how healthy number 3 is with Bradley Beal. But 1 through 5, when you put for some reason, I am blanking on the point guards, both the point guards' names.
In Phoenix?
Yeah. Who's the guy that never commits a turnover? I am blanking on his name. Ever commits a turnover. He's like 19-2 on the turnover scale.
I'm not sure who you're talking about either, to be honest. Hold on.
All right, hold on. He's got Trey Jones. Trey Jones.
Oh, Trey Jones. That's right.
Trey Jones. And Nish, I think it's Trey Jones and Nish Smith, right?
No, Ish Smith retired.
Hold on. No, it's Tyus Jones.
Yep.
Tyus Jones and who's the other guy? Oh, Monte Morris. They never turn the ball over. Those two. They're the highest turnover to assist ratio in NBA history. 1 and 2, believe it or not. They're going to handle the point guard. You have Plumlee and Grayson Allen coming off the bench. This is a much deeper team than last year. If they stay healthy, this team's, I believe, can make the finals. Okay. So I'll put them against the Celtics. And again, nobody's beating the Celtics. No, as much as I want it to happen, once Porzingis comes back, nobody's beating the Celtics. Nobody, as long as they're healthy. By the way, it is on. So two injuries happened this past week. Number one, Scotty Barnes kind of broke his eye socket.
Did he really?
He had an orbital fracture, so he's going to miss. He's going to miss 3 weeks, which is tough luck for Toronto. But you know what? Toronto doesn't want to win anyway, so okay, they're in the capture the flag. And then it's kind of, if you're a Bulls fan, you just shake your head, right? So Lonzo Ball, great story. Right? Great story. Comes back, has a surgery that nobody had ever had. They basically took a ligament from a cadaver and put it in him for his knee. Like, nobody had ever had this surgery. And he's playing 20, 25 minutes. He's not going to be the old Lonzo Ball. And, of course, he sprains his wrist. And he's out 1 to 2 weeks. And you're kind of like, can't this guy just catch a break? Now, you would think after all the ball stuff with Lamar and everything else, to be fair, and I like being fair to people, I do. If you're not 35 and older, you don't know who LeVar Ball is. Right?
How long ago was all that?
Well, Lonzo's been in the league at least 7 years.
Has it been that long?
So I guess my point is, right, for all the crap that we gave the Ball family, and we did, no question. since they have come into the NBA, since Lonzo went to LA and basically, I don't remember, Mitch Kupchak was like, yeah, thank you, but no thank you to LeVar Ball. You're good, right? And Lonzo has kept himself tried to keep himself in shape, tried to come back from various injuries. LaMelo has done his thing in Charlotte, got an extension. You kind of wonder whether it was them or the father. And it's not them because they haven't made a peep. And so I root for both of them because it's hard coming from a family like that where you have expectations. You can ask Todd Marinovich any day of the week. And yes, for those that don't know who that is, I suggest you go look up the Sports Illustrated cover. Yes, it was an actual magazine at one point that says Robo QB because that was Todd Marinovich's story. And that was a shame in itself, the Todd Marinovich story. There's got to be a 30 for 30 on that at some point. So anyway, okay. Let's turn our attention. We'll make our NHL predictions in the last 10 minutes because Seth is just going to pull two teams out of thin air. So let's talk a little bit about the World Series. Have you seen – I've never seen a team or a manager punt a World Series game.
That's what Dave Roberts did last night.
And from those that are wondering what I mean by that, it was a bullpen day, which meant we're going to put a reliever in to start the game, and we're going to use multiple relievers throughout the course of the game because we don't have a guy that can go in today's Major League Baseball. We don't have a guy that can go 5 innings, not even 8 innings, not 7 innings, 5 innings. We don't have a starter that can go 5 innings. Now, this was started by the Tampa Bay Rays, who literally perfected it. I mean, they did it such a great job that other teams have started. And because you don't pay relievers the same thing you pay starters. So I'm going to put 4 relievers out there who will cover the entire game instead of 1 starter and 1 high leverage reliever. So the Yankees are up 4-2 at one point, and then 6-4. And Dave Roberts in the 8th inning has a choice. Actually, it was kind of like the 5th inning, had a choice. Do I put in another low leverage reliever, knowing that he's probably going to get shellacked in his 3rd inning? Or should I use up one of my major arms, knowing that if I do that, I can't use him tonight, being Wednesday? And he just left out his 3 worst relievers and said, all right, we're good. It's like pulling the goalie in for a 6th guy, knowing that the goalie may injure himself. And so the game's over. Score as much as you want. We're good. I have never seen that. I've never seen that at any level. I've seen people basically give up. But that wasn't giving up. That was just saying, I'm saving everybody for the next game in the World Series. Now, I do have to ask you this question. If the Yankees win this World Series, is Dave Roberts back?
Yeah. If the Yankees win this World Series, and I was getting text messages, you can guess probably from who, that the Dodgers are on the run, the Dodgers are this, the Dodgers are that. I mean, to me, the biggest point is they won a game, and now they have their ace going tonight, who admittedly didn't really outpitch Flaherty, although he probably should have pitched further into the game. But outpitch, you should win at home with your ace. The one thing I think none of us really thought was how badly the Dodgers would starting pitch the Yankees in the first 3 games. That was the one thing I don't think we all saw. We thought the Dodgers had a better lineup, top to bottom, especially on the bottom side where Edman's been phenomenal. Muncy, Will Smith, been great. The Yankees have had, other than Volpe last night, have really had nothing. But we didn't see that coming. Now the question comes, if they win tonight, and I actually do think the Yankees will win tonight, you're now going back to LA with an enormous amount of pressure on. And we've seen what's happened with the Dodgers. Now, do I still think the Dodgers are going to win the series? Absolutely. But it does. I think I would have understood the concession a little better if they were pitching against Garrett Cole.
Yep.
As opposed to, I forget who started. Was it Louis Gill? I don't remember. I didn't see the beginning of the game. I was coming home from what I'll show in my 5 minutes. I think against the ace, you make the concession. I don't think you make it against the number 4 starter on a team where you've beaten them up. I mean, the one thing that they have going is if by chance you have given Aaron Judge confidence, which I don't think you have. He had one nice hit in the 8th inning, but the swings look better. Yankees are a very flawed team, but they are dangerous. And if they win tonight.
Yankees are really flawed. Let's understand that and we're seeing. Are we seeing that the American League is just a poor?
Yes.
League? Or are we seeing that? Let me put it a little bit differently. Baseball 1 through 9 is not 1 through 9 anymore, right? Your teams used to be able to look at it as you would get down to the 9th batter, and I know this is my DH argument, right? And you'd be able to strike out the pitcher and come back to the start. But you'd have a strong 1 through 7 in your lineup, right? Legitimately. The 8th batter was kind of Jose Oquendo-ish, right? Or your catcher, Austin Hedges or Austin Barnes or any name.
Are you just naming random people named Austin?
No, Austin Hedges was the catcher of the Padres, and Austin Barnes was the old catcher of the Dodgers. I just started with Austin's.
Okay.
But they were both 220 hitters. Like you put them in the 8 because they were a no-hit good field catcher or a no-hit good field shortstop, right? Jose Oquendo. Perfect examples, right? And so you imagine the 7th batter was a good hitter, like a really good hitter, a strong hitter.
Or at least a 270, 280 guy.
Right. I'm saying 270, 280, 20 homers, 80 RBIs, right? That was your hitter. That would be
your number 6. Usually your 7 and 8 didn't have that kind of power.
Okay, but that's your Kevin McReynolds, right? That's the
Kevin McReynolds was a runner-up for the MVP one year. I mean, that's a different.
I'm trying to put a guy. That was Luis Alicea.
I was going to say a Greg Nettles.
Fine, sure. A Greg Nettles, okay? A Ken Oberkfell. Like, I'm just throwing out guys, right? Third baseman that
random third baseman from the 1980s for 500.
Buddy Bell, if you want to go down that road. Or Gus Bell, if you want to go to his father. Lineups aren't that long anymore. You're getting to 7, 8, and 9, and those are poor hitters. They're not even good hitters.
Because it's a different era. Now we're a home run or nothing era for the most part. And the way you shouldn't have a shortstop, and I'm not talking about Volpe. I don't know what his is. You shouldn't have a guy hitting 240 with 140 strikeouts. That shouldn't be a thing. As I said, I'm not talking about Volpe. I have no clue what it is.
No. I was looking up the most strikeouts for hitters in Major League Baseball this year. And the reason I'm doing that is because I remember always thinking that it was Rob Deere at 199. No, at 204. He had 204 strikeouts, and that was it. So Ellie De La Cruz had 218. Ezekiel Tovar.
Ellie De La Cruz had 218 strikeouts?
He had 25 homers, 76 RBIs, 10 triples, 69 walks. He had an on-base percentage of .339. That is awful.
He's supposed to be the best leadoff player and pitcher player in baseball.
Well, here's number
Ohtani
2.
and Judge, because that's Ohtani. It's a different kind of on-base person.
So number 2 is Ezekiel Tovar, and you're going to go,
who?
Right? Okay, so he's the shortstop of Colorado. Okay?
Oh, no wonder.
But the 1 and 2 guys are shortstops. You would never think a shortstop would strike out that much. Shortstops were light hitting, good fielding players. Okay, Ezekiel Tovar played 157 games this year. Out of
Is
100,
this make me a bad sports fan? I have no idea who the hell he is.
it's okay, but let me get to this point. So 157 games this year. So he took 655 at bats. I mean, that's a lot of at bats. It might have actually led the whole. Did it lead? Nope. It was second overall. Okay, second overall. He throws down 23 walks and 200 strikeouts. His average was 269. Okay. Seth, his on-base percentage was 295.
It's horrible.
Oh,
that's a disaster.
I'm well aware. So, of the top 10 in strikeouts for the year, this is hitting, not fielding. You have one catcher, 3 shortstops, a second baseman, and a third baseman in there. Those positions don't strike out because those positions don't hit when we grew up.
Those are the guys who had 14 sacrifices.
Right.
And not the catcher, but and hit
even the catcher
people over. That was what it was I feel like the old man get off my lawn. But that's what it was.
Well, there's a clip from Chipper Jones, and they asked Chipper Jones has been working with the Braves the last 3 years, and they said, Chipper, how frustrated is it working with the Braves? And he didn't say it was the Braves. He said it's frustrating working with batters because nobody knows how to push a runner over. Nobody knows if there's a guy on third, the one thing I'm doing is hitting a ground ball to second base so he can score.
Yeah.
Or I'm hitting a sac fly. I'm not looking to hit it out. Like, I don't understand this baseball. And he said, this is absolutely chicks love the long ball because that's what it is. I'm not sure this is enjoyable.
Oh, no, it stinks.
But is it enjoyable to the new fan?
What new fans?
Well, I guess that's the point, right?
Look, we've had this discussion ad nauseum, how baseball can't draw new fans. And yes, look, the pitch clock is nice.
It's helped.
The lack of 87 pickoffs is nice.
It's helped. All that has helped. It absolutely has.
But the game, is so long from a season perspective. To me, look, if you were watching, I don't know if you were sleeping or not when Freeman hit the home run Friday.
No, that was the only at bat. Oh, wait, last night? Or
No, Friday night.
That is the only at bat I saw of the entire game. I woke up to that at bat.
I don't think there is anything more exciting to watch than that.
Exhilarating. It
was bottom of the ninth, 2 out, World Series, bases loaded.
And what a great call by Joe Davis. I mean, what a great, phenomenal call if you're looking for all-time calls.
Yeah. But, I mean, that is – at that point, when it takes 2 or 3 minutes to go through the at-bat, although it was the first pitch, but Ohtani, the catch by Verdugo, that to me, there is nothing as exciting as that. But everything that leads up to it, and it was a great game. And yes, I did watch the whole game. I know how shocking that is.
That is quite shocking.
It is quite shocking. But I was fine with it. It was a great game to watch. I had that on. I had basketball and I had football, and I just got to use my basement. It was great. But that's the rarity.
Yeah.
And you're not drawing based on that. It doesn't happen. It's a sport that was made for the 1950s and 60s and is gradually over the last 25 years as football and basketball and F1 and soccer have all increased in popularity. Something had to take the hit. And that's what it's been.
Yeah. All right. We have our last 5 minutes, so I will go first. Good on Mookie Betts. He could have done a lot worse to those fans last night, and he decided not to. I didn't watch most of the game, but I saw that part. And you're kind of like, if you want to be first of all, good on Mookie Betts and bad on the Yankees. So the Yankees have let those guys back in for tonight's game.
I don't think Major League Baseball did.
No, they did.
Did they really?
They are allowed back in tonight. That's ridiculous. Okay. Good on the umpiring crew for calling fan interference when the guy reached over and caught the ball. The umpiring for this series, despite the fact that the umpires were rated horrendously through the regular season, I don't think one of them was in the top 25 umpires rated throughout the year, which is kind of ridiculous. You should probably give 1 through 8 the World Series assignment, so bad on MLB. But good on Mookie Betts for keeping his cool, because you know what? He could have lost it. He really could have. If you haven't been to a Yankee game, they're obnoxious. They are. You're a New Yorker. That's what you are. You are obnoxious to a fault. And it takes some level of, I don't know, calm to say, I'm not going to engage. And walking away from a fight generally is the best move. So good on Mookie. What you got?
I think we're going to talk about voting, but okay.
Oh, you can do that. You can hit the voting.
I don't think I need to talk about the voting. If you
all right, get out and fucking vote. There's your vote.
If you haven't voted and you don't see a distinction between the two of these, I really don't know what to tell you.
But hold on. But even if you do, even if you don't, there are people that die so you can vote. Like even if you vote for the other guy, and I don't believe you should, but even if you do, people literally have died for you to have that right. So even if you don't take it for us, take it from them. Get your ass to a voting bowl. That's it. Go ahead.
That's right. A thank you to one of Sean's all-time favorites and one of mine, Alicia Steinman. I had the pleasure of going with my son to the Ernst & Young Punt, Pass, and Kick thing yesterday at the Giant Stadium. So I'm going to leave you with 2 really cool videos because I think it's just more fun than anything else. One is my son pretty much doing what it feels like nobody else has been able to do on this field, which is a catch a pass over his shoulder. And then, Sean, something that you would never assume I could do is racing my son running the 40 against my son and losing. Actually, I won't show that video. But anyway, it was really amazing to get to do. We got to meet some Giants. We got to meet some Jets. But more importantly, my son got the chance to do something that, I never dreamed of growing up. And I was amazing. It was amazing for me to watch. Sean probably never got to do it either. So thank you very much, Alicia, for letting us do that. It was fantastic. So anyway, I appreciate it. Yeah, go vote if you haven't. I already did. Hopefully they won't light my mailbox on fire. I don't have much confidence. But I will be out next week because I will be in Spain, either incredibly happy or incredibly drunk or both. They may sometimes go together. For Sean Palmer, Seth Kamens on Seth and Sean Sports Radio. 13 years and going strong. Talk to you soon.
That's the first time Seth has let us out in 13 years. Have a good day, everybody. See ya. Bye.